Mr. Jacklich, what is
Mr.
up
Abel.
there, son? What's going on today?
Well, it's another beautiful day here in Fresno. Um,
That's all right. Good. Good.
and it is. It's a great. I went to college here at Fresno State, and
Yep.
it's a great college town. I mean, I think athletes that kind of don't go to like play college tennis because they didn't get into the one university they wanted to go play at, because that actually is a trend right now, where tennis players, American players, get so focused and specialized on the one university that they want to go to, and if they don't get it, they drop out of tennis.
Wow.
It's a pretty interesting thing, yeah, because they'll go to that university anyway and not play because they want because it's an alma mater of something or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're not looking at the bigger picture, I think, of seeing that there are some unbelievable Division III schools that play just an unbelievably high caliber of ball. There's great Division II schools out there that offer phenomenal educations and have such a high caliber of tennis. It's equal to Division I, some of them, So
Well, I would also
anyway.
say, playing devil's advocate with that theory, that how many college players are going to make money on the pro tour?
Oh yeah, the percentage is just incredibly low.
It's tiny.
Like,
So it could be
tiny.
too that some guys go, look, well, I want to go to Stanford, but I can't play in the team there. So okay, I realize that I probably am not going to be able to make money on the pro tour.
Right.
So maybe I'll go to Stanford, get an incredible education, and still play. Like maybe I can practice with the team, or maybe I can play in the club team, or something
Right.
like that. But I think there's also something to be said too for players who realize that I'm not going to make money in the pro tour. I mean, you could say, fine, let's go play D2 or D3 and be part of a team and have a great experience that way, and
Right.
still get a good education. I mean, Fresno State
Anyway,
is
that
still good. I
and
mean, still a degree from Fresno State is worth a ton. So
they've got a great business school, great physical therapy, department, and I'm sure now, umpteen, however many years later, we're not going to count them off. The place has grown.
yeah,
It's the facilities are fantastic. So I don't know. It wasn't a subject necessarily. It was just a thought as you asked me,
yeah,
like, where's going on? I'm down here in
yeah,
Fresno, and
right,
here
yeah,
I am, and it just because I happen to be here right now, I'm remembering the great one opportunity to play Division I ball at a lesser known school for tennis, that allowed me to play. I think I mentioned this a few episodes ago. That allowed me to play, USC, UCLA, Pepperdine, all these
yeah.
great schools, rather than play, number 6 or not even on the team at a UCLA or a USC. So anyway, I think that's it's an interesting dynamic. The only reason I'm saying this is because I've read some articles recently that are saying that a lot of American players are not they're not, and it's not even necessarily even what you said. It's this weird kind of dynamic that's going on about, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why the dynamic that's happening, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, listen,
food for thought.
it is food for thought. That's good. That's good. Hey, so, guys, listen, first of all, thanks for hanging out with us again today. This is Go Ball Hunting. I'm Brent Abel. This dude over here, Jeff Jacklich, and we are trying to help competitive players, whether you're playing tournaments or leagues or even the Wednesday night crowd where you just do not want to be buying the beers on Wednesday night when you guys are done.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, we are here to help you initially reduce your skill level range, right? And one day you play great and you come out the next day and you fall flat in your face. And we really want to help bring the bottom of that skill level range up so you have a small skill level range. And that's really where you build confidence in yourself about how to play the game, because in your mind you become predictable how you're going to play day in and day out. And
Right.
that's really where then you can start to move up if that's really what your goal is. And look, a lot of players just want to be consistent, right? Every time they go out, they want to know how they're going to play on that day. There's never a guarantee that you're going to play as well today, or if not better
Yeah.
tomorrow. So, but that's really what our mission is. And then, of course, if you are really serious about getting to the point where you become a better tennis player, whether it's singles or doubles, the best way to start doing that is to get onto a private, free 10-minute coaching call with me and Jeff. It's the three of us. It's a three-way private call, free, and it's only 10 minutes. So that means that you need to really bring that one thing. And that's really what we want to do in this call, is help you narrow down what is that one thing in your game right now, whether it's technique, whether it's strategy, maybe whether it's mental, practice, a whole bunch of different possibilities. But if you could really solve that one thing, maybe it would just automatically knock down a bunch of dominoes in the other parts of your game that that could automatically improve. So the way to get on that call, go over to goalballhunting.com, drop in a first name, email address, click the button, and you'll get immediate access to our online calendar scheduler, where you get to cherry pick the date and time that works best for you. We're here at your service. This is about you. So, Jeff, anything on your mind today you want to chat about, or shall I kind of lay it out there for you?
Go ahead, tee it up.
Okay, all right. So, one of the things that happens with the rest of us, and a little bit on the pro tour with the top guys, a little bit, but we get down to the end of a set or end of a match, and all of a sudden, this thing about getting tight starts to, it's just like it's a cloud that comes over and starts, just tight. And to me, it's kind of like what physically happens is we lose that confidence in what I love to call swing freedom, right? Mm-hmm. Where swing freedom is where you pass through the ball and you're either confident that the shot you're about to execute actually can happen, or, if I miss this shot, it's okay. It's one shot, it's 1 point, big deal. But when we get down to the end, now all of a sudden the consequences seem to, in our mind, go up and up and up, and man, I can't miss this. So we start to lose this feeling of swing freedom, and to me, it's when we get a little too tight on the handle. I mean, literally, we grip too tightly.
I call it white knuckling the racket.
That's right. All of a sudden, you're in the airplane, you're landing, and there's a little turbulence, and you hold on, and your seatmate goes, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm busy holding up the plane, damn it.
That's right.
I'm focused.
And stop being so comfortable with this. So, any suggestions for initially, and I know that you've got some, with some of our students, you've suggested that they practice some games and points a certain way with constraints. But any suggestions in terms of how do we recreate that situation in practice, which is tough to do, right? So it's one thing to say, well, do this in a set, which is always, well, just do the same thing that got you there.
Right.
I don't feel right now the same way I did at 2-1 in the first. I'm sorry,
well,
Jeff.
Exactly, right.
I don't feel that way. It's 5-6 and it's 15-30. I don't feel the same way at 2-1. So how do we recreate practice situations that could mimic that end of the set or end of the match situation, to where we can start desensitizing ourselves to tight and still maintain some swing freedom?
Well, first, you got to recognize that it's happening, right? I mean, sometimes the player doesn't even gosh, I keep losing. I get up a set and then I lose in 3. I get up 5-2 and then I don't know what to do. And then, and so like you said, well, just keep doing what you're doing. Well, I don't know what that was, right? They're just, there's this kind of mysterious detachment of what's actually happening, in a competitive atmosphere, because there's a lot of stuff going on so many different levels: physical, mental, spiritual, you name it, it's happening. So I think one of the toughest things in practice is to recreate actual stress, real, as close to match play stress as you can. And so you want to use match set constraints um, to help produce that stress more than, I mean, to get to, gosh, I always feel this way when it's 5-4. Well, the problem with that and trying to practice that is that it took you 45 minutes to an hour to get to 5-4
right.
in a practice set.
Right.
So now you're only experiencing it for 2 minutes.
Right.
3 minutes, and now you've coughed up the game yet again, but now you got to wait another hour to get back to that moment.
That's right.
And so you need to use constraints that actually offer it up every game.
Yeah.
Offer it up every game, and the faster you can get there. So I'll throw one out there, and that is, and this is a great one, singles, doubles, and it's great for everybody because everybody has to live through it on the court. And that is the first team, the first player or team that gets to 40 first, 40-15, 40 love, 40-30. The first team that gets to 40 first, if they lose the next point, they go back to love, and the opposing team keeps their score, and you just move to the next appropriate place. So if you're serving at 40-15 from the deuce side, and you lose that point, you then go to the ad side, and it is now love 15.
Yeah, no, good. That's great. That's great.
And I use this a lot with some of my ladies, 4-0 teams, to get them into that. And then sometimes there'd be one game that would go 20 minutes because both sides were getting to this thing, but they would 3 points later, here we are. And so everybody just started to really realize, and this was when I was really, kind of introducing them to the importance of your first two shots,
right.
Serve +1, return +1. You got to own those first two shots. And so it really gave them this slice of reality that, what are you thinking? They're serving at 5:40 and you went for this oddball return when you've been just knocking down this sweet little return for 2-3 games now, and now you got this break point, and now you choose to reach over to your partner's toolbox and pull something else out, right?
Yeah.
And so it really brings up the reality of the significance of, gosh, a first serve at that point, place of point in a game, making the return. And again, that first shot after that. So you have to be in this mode of how quickly can I get to that pressure spot again?
Yeah.
And can I be there over and over again over the course of an hour?
I think that's a great drill. No, I really think, and I never heard of that before until we started yakking away a couple months ago. And I think it's a great drill because one of the things you mentioned when you started to answer the question was how we need to detach ourselves from the result. And in the beginning of a set, when it's 1-1 or 2-2, it's pretty easy to detach yourself from the result of some swing freedom because, hey, I've got more time here. In case I don't make this shot, I've still got time, right?
Right.
I mean, the worst case is 2-3 or 3-2, whatever. But I think when you get near the end of the set, then what happens is I'm attached to this result because I don't have much time left. And yet the reality is that swing freedom, where you don't hesitate, and I'm not talking about could you hit the ball at 100%.
No.
But I'm talking about if you want to swing at, let's say, 75 of your capable swing speed, that you don't hesitate going through the ball because you get way better control of the shot when you do that. When you tighten up and go, I'm not sure because I'm attached to the result because I don't have much time, it's 5-all in the third, that's when you start to make unforced errors because swing freedom, if you think about it, is the technical part. And we see this on the Pro Tour, and Fed to me just pisses me off. He'll take the most nastiest incoming ball and he's down break point, and he'll just go, I'm so detached to the result, and just go. And the next thing you know is, well, wow, I mean, he had to go to be able to control that shot where he didn't just put up a sitting duck for the opponent.
Right.
And he didn't overcook it, and he didn't tighten up and undercook it in terms of getting tight. So I think that's a great drill, Jeff, to be able to start to desensitize that
Yeah,
feeling that we get at the end of the
live
set,
that moment.
end of the
Yeah.
match.
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
got to live that moment over and over and over again. Well, the fun thing too about it is that, when you first start doing it, somebody would be up, 40-15, and then lose that point, and then go to the next side and say 40-30, and then of course the returning team goes, oh no, it's love 30, and the person goes, oh crap. And so that moment though is so important, because then they just realize, like, oh my gosh, okay. And so now they're going to live through those little emotions for a second, realizing they lost the focus of those first two shots. They lost the focus of where they were in the game, really, at 40-15, thinking that you have a cushion, which is just really it's really a false sense of confidence, I think, when people say, I got a cushion here, so blah, blah, blah. It's nice to have a few match points. Listen, no one, more than me loves having a whole slew of match points to get the job done.
Right.
At the same time, it can also give you a false sense of security.
Hey, we just had one of our students coaching webinar, a very good tennis player.
Yes.
Who was saying, I like to get to 40 love and go for the big dinger, go for the big serve.
Right. Yes.
And you and I, you were somewhere else, and I was, so the three of us were on this webinar, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, Jacklich right now is probably standing up, his head spinning around, and
steam flying
coming
out.
And
I
it's
called
like
him out on it, right?
You can't give away that point. And again, we're not saying that because you're up 40 love that you either have freedom to go ahead and do something goofy where you're trying to go to ESPN 11 p.m. highlights. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you are putting something in and just bunting and tight and this and that. You are still playing with some swing freedom, because swing freedom is what controls
the ball,
the shot.
Yes, it controls it the most.
Right.
Is that you need the swing freedom to produce the racket head speed, because that is actually what produces the true spin you want,
bingo.
Which produces the shape of the shot that you want.
Double bingo.
Which then produces you've actually hit the target location.
Triple bingo.
Because of all these elements before that happened, right? So it's just it's just an amazing, outcropping of understanding that moment and saying, you know what, I like to use the term this when I'm playing dubs, is when we get to those moments, and I feel like it's important that somebody on the doubles team recognizes the score and the importance of, we need a first serve and a good first ball, or we need a return and the first shot. Somebody has to recognize where we are at that moment, and it doesn't matter whether you're returning that ball or your partner is. It's very important, I think, to start recognizing those moments and somebody says something. I like to say, all right, Brenny, listen, time to go to work. Some journeyman ball right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so just to remind you that I need the patented Brent Abel knockdown backhand, return a serve, and then journeyman the first volley, which means, you're going to get some grass stains. You're going to get down on the ball. You're going to dig in the dirt to make that first volley, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then you just take, like you said, like we've talked about, take it from there. But listen, you do those first two things, you have such a high percentage of actually coming away with the point.
Yeah.
But what it does is it helps with that clarity and narrowing, so you don't reach into the toolbox and grab that ridiculous tool that really you shouldn't have in your toolbox at all. So
good.
Anyway.
Good. Well, guys, listen, I hope this has helped today. Here's what we want you to do is, well, first of all, if we want you to get in this free 10-minute coaching call with us, private call, right? Bring that one thing in your game right now that is holding you back from getting the result that you know that you could get if you got that one thing resolved. Not that we've got the magic bullet for you in the 10-minute call, but we can certainly put you on the path to to help you get there. The way to do it, goldballhunting.com, first name, email address, click the button and you'll get immediate access to our online calendar scheduler. Jeffrey, what is it we want the fine folks to do right now?
We'd love them to like us, share us. Please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Outstanding. Guys, get out there today. Just do it. Get out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Let's do this again tomorrow, Jeff.
Can't wait.